Welcome back to another episode of Cherry Picking. Exciting here. Must drop players. Actually, it's not really that exciting.
No.
These are tough decisions.
It's not exciting to drop players, but we're here to tell you the tough news, the guys you got to let go of.
Yeah, we're telling you pretty much that you should let go of these players. We're going to have some hot takes on this episode in this segment for the rest of the year. But it's exciting. I mean, the truth is holding on to a player that isn't giving you value to your team could be hurt your team
detrimental
a lot. And we see it a lot year after year, like of high-end players that are just sticking around your team. You're scared to drop them. You're almost scared to be the laughingstock of your team. Like when you see a guy's percentage is over 50% and you're going to drop them, you feel kind of bad. You feel like people are going to look at that transaction trend.
No, and that's the square take. You want to be sharp. You want to
be sharps.
Yeah.
You want to be sharps. Make sure you buy Manscaped. Code BOX gets you 20% off and free shipping. We got the goalie on the episode. Gianni joins us here.
Yep.
So we're going to have, do we have two each? Gianni, do you have a second one or just one?
I got two.
Okay, you got two.
Also, don't forget to download Owner's Box. Use code NHL10 for free entry into an NHL contest.
Yep, salary cap contest. Big one is every Saturday, so make sure you enter a lineup. Make sure you follow our content to get some strategy tips.
Okay.
All right. Drew, let's hear it.
My first must drop here of the year, and it's a big must drop, and it's Patric Hornqvist of the Florida Panthers. This is a drop in all leagues. I don't care how shallow your league is. The only way I would keep him is if you play in a league where hits are like triple premium or something like wild. Besides that, let Patric Hornqvist go. Through the first 3 games, no points, 5 shots, and a -1. He's currently the 4th line right winger and playing second power play. The Florida right wing depth chart, Reinhart, Duclair, Tippett. He's not moving up past any of those guys, so not much opportunity. It's time to drop Patric Hornqvist. He's owned in 51% of leagues and 68% on the other platforms. So, yeah, let him go.
I like this pick. I think people just think he's on PP1 again.
It's not.
They think that Sam Bennett has completely taken over that role.
Sam Bennett and Reinhart are now on the team.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like he's not a top 5 or I guess top 4 offensive player on the team. He's not going to be on the first power play.
Yep, I think the percentage is way too high. I was shocked to hear when you said that. I was like, yeah, that's definitely a drop.
That seems like a guy, though, in the future, if you pick up if there are injuries to that team, that becomes like a streamer later on.
Yeah.
Yes, if there are injuries to some of those right wingers and he makes it out of that first power play into the top 6, then, yeah, that's a good streamer.
Okay.
But 6 hits through 3 games, that's okay. Like, he's always been a big hits guy. Besides that, if you don't need hits, let him go.
Okay, I like that. We're going to rapid fire here a little bit. So I'm going to go Brendan Gallagher, 59% owned. I just think that, like, first of all, the Montreal team looks horrendous. I think we can all agree here. He's a third liner on that team, but then again, that team sort of rolls that 3 lines pretty evenly. I just think there's not really much value here. Like the third line, like you look at the talent on that line, it's not good.
No.
Like Gallagher could potentially add to some categories, but points wise, like he's not going to put up a crazy amount of points. He gets like 14 minutes a game. I just don't see it here. The 59% roster, I would definitely rather have a lot of, like, there's way more players I'd rather have on the waiver wire than Brendan Gallagher right now.
He seems really similar to Hornqvist, where he was in that prominent role last year, and now he's just not.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing where maybe he gets moved up at some point because they do stink.
They do.
So if they need...
you would think Montreal is going to shake things up, so maybe Gallagher gets up there, but for now, I think that you can cut, like, it's safe to...
Silver
ties with them.
Silver lining is they roll 3 lines all the time. Like they don't really have a distinguishable top 6. But the guys he's playing with right now is Paul Byron and Adam Brooks.
Something like
Josh
that.
Brooks,
It's ugly.
Brooks.
It's ugly.
It's not looking good. Not on the power play. Yeah, let this guy go. This I'd say is the second biggest must drop after Hornqvist for sure.
Staying on the topic of shitting on the Habs, because we love to do that here, I'm dropping Jake Allen. He seemed like before the season started a must add, and now I would rather pick up like Bernier for game to game. I'd rather pick up anybody, just like stream a goalie at this point instead of holding on to Jake Allen. It's just a waste of a roster spot. I don't know if you'll lose the net to Montembeault or that would be the saddest thing I've ever seen.
I've seen that name so many times on fantasy platforms. I've never heard anyone say it out loud. Montembeault.
Yeah,
that's how like kind of irrelevant that guy is.
Yeah, been. Like, and then who's their prospect they have?
Caden Primo.
Like, I don't think like same thing with him. Like, if they gets really shitty there, like maybe they don't want to bring him up into that situation. But if they have to play him, they might just like this team's on fire right now in the worst way possible.
Yeah, I guess they're like physically on fire.
Yeah, they're not like they're not like the Buffalo Sabres on fire, who is like the best team in the NHL. They're like that team has like been lit on fire.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I like the pick.
I think it's good. I mean, Montreal's look bad, and the goalie situation is ugly right now. I would have never thought that Montreal would, like before the year, even carry Price. Like the goalie situation there, you would think was pretty safe. But Jake Allen is supposed to be one of the better backups in the NHL.
As with the Carey Price being out, right? Everyone thought, oh, this guy's gonna get a ton of starts.
Yeah.
But the team looks horrendous.
Yeah. So right now, he's just a drop.
Not a
It's just
John
plain
Gibson
simple.
situation either.
Yeah.
Where John
No.
Gibson's so good,
Yeah.
he just gets a ton of shots. Like Jake Allen's getting a lot of shots, and he's laying them all in.
Yeah.
I would say pick up like Cal Peterson if you can and drop Jake
Yeah.
Allen. Yeah. Okay. My second must drop here, Sean Monahan of the Calgary Flames. This isn't just a Calgary.
You hate the
Hate
Flames,
thing.
though, right?
Yeah.
You gotta give a little
It's a fake
disclaimer there.
team.
Yeah, disclaimer, I do really hate the Calgary Flames, but I'm putting that aside. I thought about it before I made this pick. I was like, is this just because I hate Calgary? Is this because you should drop this guy? And it's because you should drop this guy. And the two platforms, 38% owned and 66% owned through 2 games, no goals, no assists, only 3 shots, and he's negative on the season. Currently playing on, I don't know if you call it the second line or third line. It's with Mangiapane and Dubé. They
Yeah, it's
listed
weird
as the
'cause,
second
like,
line.
They're talking about Blake Coleman entering that top 6 at some point.
Coleman, Backlund, that looks like more of the second line to me. They're splitting ice time very evenly, so second or third line. He's still in that first power play. So that first power play is going to make you want to keep him, right? You're going to go like Sean Monahan 2-3 seasons ago, point per game, right? Mm-hmm. But he's going to drag your team down all season. You're going to be waiting for that power play production. It's not going to come. He doesn't fire even 2 shots per game on average. That's terrible if you play in a shots league. Pick someone up with more upside. If you need a center, get Jared McCann or Kirby Dach, and they have way more upside at center than Sean Monahan. The analytics also look terrible on Sean Monahan. He's in a big, late career decline here. Let him go.
Yeah, like even just centers are more premium too. Like if he doesn't, like he will never draw on at the wing. He's always
No.
going to be just a straight center. You don't want that as your third center.
No.
There's like what you're saying. Like I'd rather just have Kirby Dach just for upside. I'd rather just scream a center, anything else, but keep him around.
There's just no chance he's better than if you get 55 points, that's awesome, and he's only gonna get 150 shots. That's just gonna drag your team down. Just let him go.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna more get 45 points is probably more expected, but yeah, no upside, no consistency. Let him go.
Okay. I like the pick. I'm picking a guy who's played 1 game this year, and that's Matt Grzelcyk of the Boston Bruins. I've seen enough. He was a deep sleeper last year, and he was a waiver wire guy. But for some reason this year, he is 49% rostered. That is crazy high for a guy who's, 5'7"? Very off. He's considered an offensive defenseman. He's not going to provide you to any of the categories, hits, shots, potentially he'll provide some value there, but hits, blocks, he won't. First game, Charlie McAvoy played 3 minutes on the power play. Matt Grzelcyk played 14 seconds. So obviously Charlie is their guy. They're paying him that huge salary of
$9.5 million.
Obviously they're committing to him. I don't think he sniffs power play, and I don't know how Charlie loses that spot. That power play is just so good. He could just pass the puck. All he has to do is pass the puck, and he's going to keep his spot on that power play. I think that we're just going to find out he's just going to be there, getting you some shots, and in 2 weeks from now, you're going to be like, I should have dropped him 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Grzelcyk was one of my, was it sleepers or must-draft defensemen when he looked like he was definitely going to get that first power play, right?
I think.
But without it?
We did talk to him. I don't think it was must-draft defenseman.
No, I think it
might
was
have
sleepers. Yeah. When he had that first power play, he was looking like a pretty good sleeper. Now without the first power play, unless you play in a points league that doesn't count any hits or blocks, you got to let him go.
And it has to be that power play point premium because he's going to be getting 50% of his points on the power play.
Last year, 7 power play points. 7 of his 20 points were on the power play last year. So put that into perspective.
Yeah. I'll let him go.
Okay, so on the topic of short hockey players who everybody hates, I'm
Marty Stress.
I'm dropping Cole Caufield.
No.
This is insane.
Here's the reason why. He's owned 84% of the time, and I understand why people are taking him, why they're picking him up. There's no reason to consider him a legitimate roster player. Honestly, if you actually look at what he does, he's going to be, his plus minus is going to be horrible if you play with that. He gets like a decent amount of shots, maybe like 3 or 4 a game. He's not getting the minutes people expected. He reminds me a lot of Casey Middlestat on Buffalo. And here's the reason why. So Cole Caufield had the playoff run, and props to him. He did really well in that role, and he beat the Leafs, which makes me sad, but that's what happened. But Cole Caufield last season played 10 games. He had 4 goals and 1 point, which is a great outing. Mm-hmm. Casey Middlestat had 5 points in 6 games in his first season with Buffalo when he came in at the end of the season. Comes into the next season, he's going to slot in as the second-line center. That's great. He gets taken by 70% of people in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, and he's looking like a great value pick. He ends up laying a dud. He's not great, gets sent down to the AHL for a little conditioning. This is just what happens with young players sometimes. There's that upside where if you're in a keeper league, sure, a couple years maybe he's going to be great, but right now he's not ready for the full-time experience right now.
I could not disagree more.
There's 2 things that could happen here. 1, we get retweeted by Freezing Cold Takes in a month.
Yeah.
Or 2, this is like one of the best takes on this show.
But it's not drop. You would just trade him. Like people still
okay. So
value him.
if you're a fantasy team, you're through 1 week, and let's say you lost and nothing's clicking. Let's say you have you're like me. I have Mark Stone, Pacioretty, and Brian Rust all on my IR right now, and I'm dying for a winger. So someone says, "Hey, I'll send you Cole Caufield." What are you giving up for him right now?
It's tough. I think though obviously we're not telling you to drop him without exploring a trade first. Like that would just be dumb on our end. Like we're telling you to explore a trade. Then if it doesn't work, drop him.
But it's just, who are you going to pick up on the waiver wire that has more upside in a points league?
I mean, it's more of you can find some more value players. I get what you're saying, where he's got that upside where he could get 30 goals or so, and I can see that, but the way he's trending right now, there is just a chance where his team around, he's not there yet where he can just create everything on his own. He has to kind of be with guys who help him. Where his team is right now, he's not there where he could, like for him right now, a good season could be 20 goals and 15 assists with no hits, no blocks, and maybe 2.5 shots a game.
I see what you're saying. So this has to be like an 8-team league that you drop him in, right? Like you're not dropping him in like a 12-team league.
12-team league, I'd maybe consider holding on to him if it's a little deeper. 10-team league, I'd probably drop him.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm in a 10-team league. I picked up Joe Farabee, which maybe
he gets drafted.
That slipped through a little bit, but a guy like Joe Farabee is hot right now.
Yeah. You'd rather have Farabee than Caufield?
If you had Caufield, would you trade him 1-for-1 for Farabee right now in fantasy?
So close, like that's pretty 50-50.
Yeah,
I'd probably rather.
I'd probably have Farabee, but Caufield. You talk about ice time. He's played 13 minutes. His average time on ice in the last 2 games. That is bad.
I know.
And the fact that Montreal is coming out and saying like they are prepared to reconstruct that power play means that Caufield's spot on PP1 isn't confirmed. So that's what it is. It is like
lots of shots.
This is like a very like ballsy play.
It is, and you're being bold.
This is the point where you're 1 week into the season. There are guys on the waiver wire in your league who should be rostered. Who during the draft you didn't realize how good they were going to be. Like I don't mean to spoil anything for another video, but maybe you're looking at a guy like Joel Eriksson Ek as being a little bit more valuable than Cole Caufield right now. He's probably on the waiver wire in a lot of leagues. Mm-hmm. And you just go, you know what? That's it. I'm picking him up. I would make that trade 1-for-1 right now. And I get what you guys are saying. Maybe you package him in a deal for something else, someone else who's struggling a little bit. But
yeah, so shallow league, consider dropping him. Deeper league, try trading first.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
It's not as crazy as it first sounded.
No, it's not horrible. But
rookies always scare me, though. Unless it's a surefire guy in hockey, a rookie's like not guaranteed anything.
Okay.
Okay. I agree. All right. So 6 players that you should consider dropping. Make sure you comment below who you're dropping or if we're crazy. Let us know
if you have any questions. Should I drop Sky or not? Just let us know. Let us know who you pick up. We can help you out in the comments.
Yeah. Comment, like, subscribe, join the Discord. Link is below. We'll see you guys next week.